Hey everyone, and welcome to my series I really need to catch up on video. So, in my TBR video, I said why finish a series when you can start a new one, and it got me thinking, how many series have I actually started and not finished? So what I thought I'd do is make a video shaming myself on this, so let's get into it. What I'm going to do is start with the Kindle stuff and then just go straight through the pile I've got next to me, because that seems like the easiest way to edit this, so editing me will be happy. First thing I've got to mention is the Alchemist's Daughter series, which I keep on mentioning. I've read the first one, The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, and then have not continued. Despite the fact that I own European Travels for Monstrous Women, I haven't continued, and I love this series. I absolutely adored the first book. It literally had the daughters of various like classic gothic characters, like Jekyll and Hyde's daughters, you've got Frankenstein's daughter and a whole load of others, and Sherlock Holmes and John Watson in a version that I actually liked because I'm very picky on that, and I still haven't continued. I'm blaming the fact that, if I remember rightly, European Travel for Monstrous Gentlewomen is over 800 pages, and I'm just very scared of that because obviously last year was dedicated to Sanderson, which is a very, very long series, but it's been like 2 years. I should probably continue the series. I've then got the Fable series, which I really, really enjoy. This is another sort of retelling, but this is actually fairy tale retellings, and I describe this as Once Upon a Time, but for adults, in the sense that you're focusing on very adult characters, and they are like in a gated community, they're very, very rich, and they sort of get into plots like murder and things like this, and it's a really, really good series. I've really, really enjoyed it. It sort of fills the hole that Once Upon a Time left in its own sort of way. Once Upon a Time is screaming at me for rewatch at the moment, I won't lie, but I really just need to finish the series, or at least catch up with it. And I think I can blame it on the fact that it's 26, 27 volumes long, and I'm only on volume 5. I think that may be my problem. But also the fact that I'm reading a whole lot of Marvel comics right now, so maybe in the next Marvel gap I may try to read a couple of Fables. I don't know, but essentially, yeah, I really need to finish the series because I really, really enjoy it, so I should probably carry it on. I'm also putting Grant Morrison's new X-Men on this list as well, because I started this series. It's filling in a lot of X-Men gaps, because this is where the X-Men continuity sort of resets itself in the Marvel universe. I guess you could say it's a good sort of jumping off starting point, because that's where it brings in like Genosha and the attack on Genosha and like secondary mutations and all the rest of it. It's sort of like where Marvel continuity in the comics have just sort of kick-started again, and it's filling in a lot of gaps in terms of what's like what I've read afterwards, which is my references back to this, and I'm still only on volume 3. Literally, I've gone up to like volume 5 or something, and I haven't continued, and I should really continue it because I do really enjoy this series. I've got to admit the artwork is not my favourite, and I've got to admit as well I do enjoy other X-Men series a bit more, but at the same time this is filling in so many gaps that I definitely need to get on with it so I can actually properly understand what I'm reading in later books, but I keep on being distracted by the later books instead of the early ones, so I definitely need to catch up on this soon. Onto the books now. Tales from the Hinterland. Yeah, I should probably read this. I read the Hazelwood and the Night Country. I read those literally on like the week of release when they came out both years, and then this one I just haven't. Don't ask me why. Just don't ask me why. Look at the size of it. It's literally short stories, and I haven't read it yet. This would be so easy to read, and I just have sat it in my TBR cart hoping for the time when I have a spare 5 minutes. And I've never had the spare 5 minutes, so I haven't read this yet, and it sucks because I really, really want to read this one because the Hinterland is such an interesting thing. I'm really interested in stuff like The Clockwork Bride, which is a story in here which sounds like very Doctor Who, with like Madame de Pompadour and all the rest of it, like that storyline from The Girl in the Fireplace. It's also got stuff like The Skinned Maiden, Twice Killed Catherine, The Mother and the Dagger, and stuff like this, and it all sounds really, really interesting. I really enjoyed the first two. I just need to get to this one. Hopefully soon. Hopefully. I'm going to try and squeeze this in the next couple of months. I've been saying that for 3 months, but hopefully I will actually manage it this time. I've also got the Shadowhunters series. Now, fun fact, this was actually going to be on this month's TBR, and then I went, nah, I'm going to start a new series instead. Because of course I did, instead of actually finishing the Shadowhunters original Mortal Instruments book, so I can go on to the rest of the series. But to be fair, look at the size of it. I'm slightly scared of it. But I mean, I should really read this. I literally have this last one left. I was meant to read this last year so that I could go on to the rest of the series and just haven't done it yet. So I just need to pull my finger out and get to it. I've said to myself, the next round of Tome Topple, I'm going to be reading this book. The next round of Tome Topple, hold me to it. Seriously, tell me when the next round of Tome Topple comes out, if I do not have this on my TBR, I bet I've already read it. But at the moment, this is for the next round of Tome Topple. I'm manifesting that at the moment, so that's my plan. Hold me to it, please, because I desperately want to finish this book so I can go on to the rest of the Shadowhunters. I've also got the Edge Chronicles now. I've only got this book left in the Quint Saga, and this one is Clash of the Sky Galleons, before I can go on to the Twig Trilogy. And the thing is that I wanted to read this one first before I read the Twig Trilogy, because I wanted to read this in publication order, even though you don't technically have to. It all sort of interweaves in that sort of Discworld-esque kind of way. But I wanted to read it in chronological order just so I could sort of do it in chronological order, essentially. And I just haven't read this one yet. I really haven't. In my defence, though, the second one did disappoint me because Quint was an awful human being and like an awful friend for the entire book, which really annoyed me. And the book also wrote out the only female character in the entire series, which also really annoyed me. So I think that's why I've been putting this one off. But I do want to read this one. They are fun middle grades. I just need to, like, prioritise it, essentially, so I can finally get to the Twig Trilogy. I will get to it. I will get to it at some point. I've then also got Spider-Man Renew Your Vows. Now, this series I started 2 years ago, and I haven't gotten past volume 2 yet. To be fair, I was reading them around the time Spider-Man Far From Home came out, and then I was like, no, I'll finish it at some point, and then I got it into my head that I'll read the next one when Far From Home came out, and then the pandemic hit and it got pushed back. So it's been a while, because in my head I have to read the comics when the film comes out and not reread them when the film comes out, hence why I've got a giant collection of comics I haven't read yet. So I need to get out of that, but essentially I do want to read this one. I will probably end up reading it around the time Far From Home comes out, but I do genuinely enjoy the series. I really enjoy this idea of Peter sharing his powers with MJ via a special suit, and his daughter having also powers that he have inherited from him, and the three of them being a superhero family and how they deal with that. I really, really enjoy that. I really like the art style in here as well. It's really good fun, and it's just generally a really fun comic. I just need to continue it and stop ignoring it because it is a really good time. Then the only other comic I've got to mention is Ta-Nehisi Coates' Black Panther, because I have not continued the series. I literally own 7 volumes now, and I've read the first one. And I really enjoyed that first one. I just need to actually continue reading it. And again, I'm waiting for the next Black Panther film to come out, but I've now got like, I don't know, like 20 Black Panther comics. So it's like, I could start whittling these down, and like before the film comes out, then rereading them when the film comes out, and I'm just like, no, I'm gonna wait, which is ridiculous. So I need to sort of hit myself up the back of the head to actually do it. But I do really enjoy the series. I really enjoy seeing like T'Challa and the rest of Wakanda. I'm really enjoying it. It does admittedly tie into Secret Wars, if I remember rightly, so I need to read Secret Wars, which is also on the plan for this year for reading. But I just need to actually read this at some point, and I just haven't. I just need to get on it, because I did really enjoy the first one. I really enjoy exploring Wakanda. I just need to actually continue exploring Wakanda, because I read Wakanda Forever like 2 months ago and really enjoyed it, so I may as well carry on and explore more of these characters. But I'm an idiot and just don't. So do with that what you will, but essentially I need to get on this. And that is the books that I am currently trying to shame myself into reading soon. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below and tell me which series you need to finish and you just don't. Just tell me that down below. I'll also leave a link down below to all my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics. And if you want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time everyone, bye!